put all on mute. Dun, dun. So today's practice, we are in the Satipatthana course now. We just started, and the topic for the week is Samadhi, which is a unification of mind, and also very much a unification of. I also like to think of it as body, heart, and mind unifying, becoming collected around the same experience. Um, And I was thinking about topics that could, or practices that could fit this week. And I really love this one. It's very much inspired by Qigong practice called embryonic respiration, and also by um, some readings I did recently of body mind centering. They do a lot of work with body and somatics. And it's also quite fitting because, as you saw maybe in the email, in the Satipatthana Sutta, which is the text by the Buddha, he's talking about experiencing the body with the whole breath. So there tends to be an evolution as we practice mindfulness breathing, as we bring our attention to our breath, that in the beginning, it's more easy to focus on the breath in one particular area, like maybe the belly or the nostrils or the lungs. And then after a while, you get more capacity to feel the breath in more and more places in the body, because some parts of the breath are more obvious, like the movement of the chest tends to be quite obvious. And then some parts of the body, the movement of the breath is more subtle, like maybe the shoulders or the shoulder blade or the lower back or the closer to the pelvis, right? And these are still anatomically breathing parts. Anatomically, they are still moving. The diaphragm moves down as you inhale, and it kind of pushes slightly on the viscera, on the guts, creates a bit more pressure in the belly, in the lower back as well. So you cannot feel maybe directly the lungs moving, but you can feel all the structures that are being moved by the breath. And an even more deeper and subtler aspect of the breath is to be able to experience the breath actually in parts which are not maybe strictly moving with the breath. So even the fingertips or the toes. And this is it's more like if I have to link it to something physiological or anatomical that's going on, I feel it's more the activation of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And as we inhale, it's more sympathetic. As we exhale, it's more parasympathetic. And that can be felt throughout the body as maybe like a subtle energy shift, like a subtle feeling of expansion or energizing, and a subtle feeling of maybe contraction or coming together again, or kind of some release sensation. So the breath is something you can really feel throughout the whole body. And we are going to help ourselves with a little image, especially in the first 10-15 minutes. So this image is one of being an embryo. Hello, Franny, welcome. And so this image is an image of being an embryo. So when we were all embryos at some point, even though we can't remember it, and it's not integrated into our memories. And we were all embryos at some point in the mother's womb. And when we were in the mother's womb, we weren't breathing with our lungs yet. We were receiving oxygenation through the umbilical cord that's connected through the placenta and then to the mother. So the mother is around us and she's breathing, oxygenating her blood, and then that oxygenated blood is coming to the placenta, and then the baby's blood, which isn't directly mixing with the mother's blood, they are separate systems, but the placenta is making sure that the oxygenated blood from the mother also oxygenates the blood of the baby and also gets rid of the waste products like carbon dioxide. So, and there the breathing of the embryo is much more like a sensate, or what I imagine must have been like, is more, rather than having this inhale and get nourished and I exhale and I release uh, toxin, is more like a continuous exchange, a continuous nourishment and exchange with the mother. And the sensation is very much connected to the umbilical cord, to the belly button. Showing you my belly button here on camera. No, quite a deep one. Um, um, so the umbilical cord is connected to the belly button, and we're going to use this image of feeling our body filled and released and nourished. This word nourishment is very important for our practice today. Nourished through the belly button, which is where we can also feel our belly breathing when we're relaxed, to connect with the sensation of the whole body breathing. So those of you just joined, I was just explaining about breathing and how we can feel it in the whole body as a kind of energetical wave, sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system. And we're going to connect to that. Yes, embryo, whole body breathing. So this is a great practice for Samadhi because it takes quite a lot of our bandwidth, our mind body, to imagine this and feel this in the whole body, and to feel the whole body at once. It's not so easy. We have to be very much embodied, very much in the feeling, very much absorbed actually in the bodily experience to be able to connect with this. Yeah, so, and it's also quite pleasant. So it's easy to build Samadhi than something which is more boring or unpleasant. And we're going to do this in two postures. So the first posture is optional. So you can do the whole thing in sitting if you prefer. But if you want to try this, I invite you to take like a embryo posture. And it doesn't have to be a perfect embryo posture. You can rest your head also on the meditation cushion if you like, as you feel comfortable. And we're kind of just going to curl up and feel comfortable on the side of your body as however you feel is good for you. And then after, we will sit up into our normal sitting meditation posture after about 10 minutes of being in this more embryonic, nourishing posture. So yes, unless there's any questions, then I invite you to relax and lay down here. I'm also going to relax. First, take a few deeper breaths and sigh anything out. And release anything. And rest the body. Make sure you're here quite comfortable. So the adjustments you still need to make. We want to get this little bit sensation of very much being somehow enclosed in the nourishing womb around you. You might even cover your face or eyes with something. And connect with this memory that we still might have somewhere inside our brain or being. In the mother's womb, body is very soft. There's no abstract thought yet. There's just sensation, just touch. Touch is the first sense that we develop, feeling our own bodies, our heartbeat, our warmth, the warmth around us. The whole world is kind of less important. All the things that we are used to doing as adults, used to managing, used to taking care of or solving. We can just allow all that to fade into this more primordial, more simple consciousness of a baby, of an embryo, resting. Mostly baby is resting, embryos resting, 20 hours a day sleeping, deep rest, deep regenerative, nourishing rest, continuously nourishing, growing the body. And you might imagine for a moment you have also this umbilical cord connecting to your belly button. Where you're connected to your mother, your whole system, your oxygen, your blood. You already grew a heart. The heart is one of the first organs to grow before actually the brain, before the arms, the beating heart. And you might connect to your own breathing. And feel the sense of circulation around the whole body, of the warmth, of the nourishment, of energy that's nourishing your organs, your brain, and also your limbs, to the fingertips, into the toes, and all your cells of your whole body are breathing this nourishment, are tingling, shimmering, vibrating with exchange of being nourished and releasing. You might connect or notice any movement at all in the fingers, toes, any inner movement, not necessarily outer movement, like movement that is visible from the outside, but kind of the inner body, the inner feeling that is anything which is moving. No thinking. Thinking is is not here yet, not involved yet. You are in a more primordial state of being, of existing, of just feeling. digesting, growing. And let's take a few slightly deeper, more intentional breathing. You inhale, feeling this breath wave enter the body through the navel, filling up the lungs, torso. Maybe you've sensed the movement in the arms, ribs, pelvis. And the exhale in your own rhythm as you feel comfortable. Exchange of exhale, inhale. Slightly deeper, slightly longer. You might feel this breath wave travel throughout the body, also into the shoulders, into the hips, into the knees, and down to the toes. It fills up the breath wave that fills up into the fingertips and swirls around the inside of the skull. And whatever you feel is your truth, is your feeling. You don't need to create anything else. Whatever sensations you connect to is your sensations, is what's most important. Allowing also this pause between inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale. A kind of fullness or emptiness. And we're going to take a few minutes to transition towards sitting, and there's something specific here. So I invite you to transition in the rhythm and in the synchronicity with your breath. So as you inhale, you might make some movements. As you exhale, you might kind of rest or release the whole body. And we have a few minutes to arrive in sitting. And the whole body moves together as one. No rush. You might pause for some time somewhere and have a few breathings here. Still feeling the breath in the whole body. There's something naturally energizing about the inhale. There's something naturally relaxing about the exhale. And keeping the attention, the awareness inside. You slowly start arriving in sitting. And you can less and less influence the breath and allow it to return to its more natural rhythm, which may be quite subtle, quite slow. And just follow this breath wave in your bodies. You might even feel that the body is happening inside the breath rather than the breath happening inside the body. The body is happening inside the breath. And we're fully inhabiting our bodies, not just aware of or attending to our body, but really being the body, breathing. I am aware as the breath, body. Feeling the whole body, breathing in, feeling the whole body, breathing out. And there's one thing we can do to help invite more of our body into the breath, which is to selectively breathe with different body parts. For example, with the hands, feeling both hands, and then invite the hands to participate in the breathing process, to kind of fill up with the inhale, or to be energized, nourished with the inhale, and to release with the exhale. This takes place in the sensation, in the tingling, vibrating, pulsing, warm, flowing feelings of the head. And we can invite the whole arms, and let's go to the feet. Without any thinking or analyzing, just sensing, just feeling primordial state of consciousness. The mind of the embryo. Breathing as the feet, with the feet, by the feet. Inviting the whole legs up to the pelvis to participate. And then the legs and the arms, breathing. And then the spine. There's a subtle movement in the spine as we breathe. Almost like a wave or undulation. Very subtle. From the tailbone to where the spine meets the skull. The spine is actually not rigid or still or static in any way when we are sitting. There is a subtle movement as we breathe. You might just get a hint of that, and that's enough. The spine, the arms, the legs, and finally the whole body breathing. And this whole body breathing, this whole breath body is like warm, comforting water in which we can bathe And sometimes habitually we emerge from this water, we poke our head out, look around, or even start getting out of the water. And that moment you can just relax and release back into this warm, nourishing whole body breathing experience. You might even just gently smile inside your mind, inside your heart, inside your body, inside your breath, smiling, whole body breathing. Keep sinking back, resting back into the nourishing current, rhythm, flow of whole body breathing. And as you stay there for more and more longer periods, more completely, more whole, this is the first jhana, the first absorption, first flow state of meditation. And the mind will continue to unify in this experience. You don't need to do anything more, just resting in this rhythm. And your mind will continue to gather, to unify. Subtle parts which are still moving out or away. And the things that usually pull us out of meditating, our likes and dislikes and doubts and worries and even our drowsiness slowly gets washed away by this alive, vital, awake rhythm wave of the whole body breathing. But we continue to gently stay with it, intend to stay with, even if it changes, especially if it changes in quality or texture or shape. And sometimes we feel our body ends at our skin. And for the last few minutes, I invite you to breathe as your whole vast body. Your body that includes everything around you, the whole room, the whole space, the sounds, the thoughts, the ground, the sky, whatever's in front, behind, left and right, above and below you. Everything is your whole body breathing. This doesn't have to be something you imagine or construct or hold. More something to subtly include. Nothing is separate from your breath. And transitioning towards coming back, we again just feel the breath inside our body, inside our skin. the simple flow of respiration. And I invite you to extend the next inhale. Fill the whole body like a balloon. And then hold just for a few seconds at the top. Feel the tingling inside and then release. Passive release. And then let the body, the breath return to normal. Maybe you want to bring a hand on the belly, one on the heart. And welcome yourself back. Welcome to open your eyes. I always love to touch a little bit the body, the legs, the feet, the thighs, to re-ground into physical experience. Squeeze the hands, squeeze the toes. I'm back. Good. Maybe have a stretch, have a drink, whatever you need. And there will be some minutes if there's anyone who would love to stay back and share a little bit or ask questions or have just a moment for connection, really. Welcome to stay, and otherwise, thank you so much for joining the meditation. And the head's long. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.